Perfect. Happens every time. Welcome back to another episode of Dried Blood, the after action report for D20 Deathmatch. This was a doozy. It's gonna be a two-parter, our first two-parter, in fact. Well, I don't know if you count the Battle for the Crown. That was planned, but this is like the first organic two-parter. So,
yes.
How is everyone feeling about where we're at so far?
Oh my god, it was so much fun. Lexi!
Connie!
I'm in
awe.
I'm in awe of you. I feel like so Lexi and I have been like orbiting each other in like the tabletop space for like ever now at this point. And like we've like been so tangential, but we've never actually played like a proper streamed game before.
Yeah.
So thank you both so much, Caustic and Mudcat, for like bringing us together and organizing all of this and
flying.
doing it.
Yes. Oh gosh.
Well,
I just like I have this like I said earlier, when you get two like screenwriters and like two people that are so informed by like context, like some people just like make builds all the time and they have fun with the crunchy side, and I think we both have fun with the story side informing the crunchy side of things. Like I feel like no matter what characters we brought in, it was going to be like story wise probably pretty compelling.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
But Mudcat and I are typing in the background. Okay, maybe if we do, nope. Okay, they changed. Okay, now we have more story. Okay, we're gonna do this. No, okay, here we go. Let's change this instead.
and then we're like, okay, maybe we do a two-parter. And then I'm like, oh, and she's like, well, we'll bring in the wolf pack. I was like, oh yeah, but it's her wolf pack.
Yeah,
they found out.
It wasn't always the wolf pack. That changed multiple times throughout. Like, are they vampire hunters?
There was a series of hunters planted in this place.
You might have seen a few rolls for perception because you all were being a bit loud.
Yeah, you did make a remark about how loud I was being.
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, you guys are yelling? Good to know. Okay.
Oh my god, that's
then
so
you guys
funny.
set fire to the building. I thought, forget it. We don't need people interfering.
So originally you were gonna get back to this square for a map change eventually with all of these hunters after you. That was what we had planned originally in case for a chaotic event, but it didn't go that way.
As we all know, the players tell the stories. So
oh my god, I feel like we were so chaotic to GM. Like we were just like, and then we're gonna do a flashback. Sorry, Caustic. Sorry, Mudcat. We're just doing a flashback.
Honestly,
one of our friends in chat said, yeah, they're like, they can just do the whole show on their own, can't they?
I was gonna say that is both of our styles, because I feel like we hop and we're like, you see this like inky black ichor coming from my eyes. Mechanically, this will do nothing. DM, do not worry.
It's all flavor.
I was like, a pillar of light shoots up. Don't worry, I don't try to blow off the roof.
Yeah. No actual fire. This is all just like.
Well, that's
because Lex, I feel like. Sorry, go ahead.
So I was gonna say that's one of the things we actually love, and we have had this happen a few times. It doesn't happen all the time, but occasionally there are some players who come on and they just kind of take off and they just go. And we like episodes where we literally don't have to talk. If we can just sit there and watch you all play and RP and stuff, and we just occasionally go, yeah, get them. Like, that's fine. We love that stuff.
The only part I felt bad about was the genie, because it really disrupted the mood. Also, as a small fun fact, it's actually a knockoff genie. He didn't want to admit it. He's called a weenie instead.
It's a wish genie.
He has limited powers. Yeah,
that's so funny.
So like, if you ask for a cool new weapon, the best he could do was probably like a balloon weapon instead.
Love that.
You're gonna get. I need a new companion. Here's a stuffed animal.
Wishing us to the first initiative order, or like to where we were at the first initiative order, was probably the most amount of magic he's spent in like years.
Yes, he's gonna go back in there and sleep for a very long time.
You all got lucky, because with that wish, the last time somebody tried to get some sort of wish granted in the arena, they ended up morphed together in the same body.
Oh
so
yeah,
you lucked out.
Ooh.
It was gonna just be a psychic battle back and forth.
Yeah. Well, you're not resistant to psychic damage.
That's the only damage I take.
When we're in the same brain, it's easier to hit you.
Like sticking two kids in a shirt. This is like
like,
shared shirt.
They get along.
Yeah, the get along shirt.
Yeah.
Like both of us popping out of it.
I just loved the creativity. And honestly, I was a little worried because it's iconic at the same time, which is exciting, but it's also a tale we feel like is very familiar of werewolf versus vampire. But in this, we get a very fresh story between the two and the relationship, how complicated it is for both your characters. And I loved it. And you both just fleshed this out like it was nothing. Icing on a cake. I
Yeah.
was so impressed.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think what helped definitely was that, like, because I think the idea was just thrown out there, like, I don't know if it was me or Connie, but like Darren Shan, Cirque Freak, because it's just been on my mind recently. And I think we both have also been talking a lot of vampires, werewolves recently. And so I think it was just something where we were like, okay, definitely doing this. And I think we both immediately look for conflict with characters. Like, why would we be here outside of money? Because money is great, but like, we immediately looked opposite ways, and it turned into this whole, like, I don't know. I think it was important to pick those like iconic creatures, iconic monsters that could just have the qualm of like, I'm a werewolf, you're a vampire, let's fight. But we're like, nah, we're about to make this hurt.
Like, let's make this personal. Let's make this clear as hell.
Yeah,
right. Let's make this
exactly.
lesbian drama. Like 101. Yeah. I'm really excited for in the second part to like complexify, because I feel like now the audience knows what happened. Like we were pretty heavy on the exposition because I thought it was gonna be a one shot. So I was like, I'm just gonna hit this on the nose. I'm just gonna like hit the audience over the head with like what the hell's happening. So I'm excited to be able to go a bit deeper. And I really liked what you said as the Grandmaster caustic of like, we're talking about the past, but what about the entire lives you've led after that incident? I'm really interested in that coming into play for the next episode too, of like, well, we are hung up on this one trauma, but we've become people outside of that. And like, how does that affect us now? Because you're right as the Grandmaster, like Havoc as a character has to choose between this love that they thought they lost and this new family they found that their love hates. Right. I mean, for valid reasons, they killed our entire family. You're like, that's valid.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to play that, like, and to grow the conflict in new directions and see to it to become like an explosive conclusion.
Yeah. Definitely can't wait for the conclusion. I'm excited because I think it's either gonna I know Isha's probably not super interested in, like, it's hard because I can't tell what she wants now. I cannot tell. But
because I feel like Havoc has said her piece and like has like told, like shown Isha's her perspective. Like she's sorry, she didn't want to abandon you. She feel like she had to. So now Isha has context. Now Isha has new information she didn't have before. And Havoc has new information, the fact that Isha's fucking alive. Like that's huge.
And it's everyone's constantly just working with the amount of information that they have, and so now it feels like there is a new chess piece on the board, and I don't know what, like, Isha doesn't know what to do about it because she is so logical and has thought herself into a rut that now there is like this idea that you didn't actually mean it. She had to inform herself on what she thought you meant, like what she thought you meant to do all those years ago. So now that you're here speaking to her, it's just like one of those things where the kid like yells and yells and yells for the lollipop, and then they get it and they're like, this actually isn't as good as I thought it was gonna be. So I think it's interesting. Like you said, new information yields like a newer reaction, and even she doesn't understand what she's doing. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with these werewolves, and what happens with the werewolves, what happens with Havoc, and even just processing through, because she's not a good person. Like she absolutely killed a lot of werewolves to get So like having to deal with that, like,
or anyone who ties in that past. That's the beauty of it, is that characters are you both have very bloody pasts now towards each other and to others, and that is part of your character. You've built a pathway of who you are. It's familiar in how you do things.
Yeah, we're like two neutral evil characters. I feel like you know what I mean?
Yes, it is so hard to actually get neutral evil in such a way that like makes sense, because I think neutral evil is what you should look out for. I think Chaotic evil, cool. Everyone thinks that's so fun. Chaotic neutral, everyone thinks that's so fun. Neutral evil is the alignment to watch out for because they do not give a fuck until their conditions are met. Once their conditions are met, then they will possibly see some sort of light. But up until that point, everything is a means to an end. And this, like, she probably still doesn't see that killing those other werewolves was bad. It was just things she needed their strength and their battles and the fight that every fight with them to get her to where she is right now. And that's what matters. But now that you're standing in front of her, she's having a bit of a wavering in her step. But anything before this, nope, none.
Well, this will be interesting as you get to witness Havoc interact with her family, right? Because these werewolves have been an easy otherization, like they're monsters. That's the clear, easy label for you. Yeah. But now that you see them as family, you've murdered family. You may be helping her murder her family, which is a whole new trauma, or murdering her in front of her family. You know,
a lot of ways you could take it.
You know, there's a lot of options.
Havoc definitely, it's going to be interesting, like watching them. Yeah, definitely watching them with their pack. That choice between them and me, because I'm going to go straight into like, you know what? You're all in my way. So Havoc being there and having to make a choice literally right in front of Isha is going to, I think that's what she's waiting on, is like something to push her to reacting. Because right now she's a little cold. She's just waiting. She's almost stunned. That's how I want to put it.
Let's not give too much away. We're gonna save it, and we're gonna reveal more in episode The Blood Feud 2. So I want to thank you both for being here. Before we close out, Mudcat, you love to have this as an ending. I'll let you set it up.
Yeah, we like to have everybody. It's a little weird because nobody died, but
not this time.
We like to have everyone kind of give their final words, either as their character or as yourself. If you have any parting words for the acolytes who watched, your characters or yourself. I don't know who wants to go first.
That's hard. As we our final words before we depart to our demiplanes to train, right?
Yes.
It probably will be similar to what I said before. So I think as I'm disappearing, Isha will just echo and say, wherever their shadow goes, mine will follow. This isn't the last you'll see of me. And disappear. I took the easy part out of it. I went first. Connie.
God, what? How do I follow that?
You put you in the hot seat.
Okay.
You're like the wordsmith I know. You got this.
Come on.
Okay. Then I think as you leave, Havoc, her face like contorts and twists. For like the first time that we've seen her, she looks deeply conflicted. And as she's pulled away into her own demiplane, looking at all these werewolves, her family, like asking her to kill this lichen hunter that's been stalking all of werewolf kind. As she's pulled away, she says, a blood debt. Like I said, Isha must be paid in blood, but if the brokers are corrupt, why do I swing my maul? And she's gone.
Ooh.
Yes.
That was a good one.
Oh.
Whew. All right. Well, that's the end of it, and we will have to pick up on the next D20 Deathmatch.